Peace, 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 peace. Peace, love, light, and healer family. Peace to the gods. Peace to the earth. Y'all climb on in. Y'all climb on in. Let me know if y'all can hear me and if y'all can see me well. Y'all see what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about healing from extreme acidic so-called diseases. We're going to talk about healing from extreme acidic so-called disease. I'm going to really teach y'all the fundamental understanding, overstanding, and understanding of acidosis and how to get it out of your body. You know, a lot of us is dealing with so-called fibromyalgia. A lot of us is dealing with so-called lupus. A lot of us is suffering from so-called cancer. A lot of us is suffering from so-called multiple sclerosis. And all of these are the same diseases. The only thing is with these so-called diseases is the manifestation of the acids, where actually the acids is sitting at in the location that the acids is sitting at inside of the body. So I'm going to show y'all what this is. We're going to break it all down, and then I'm going to give y'all the list of herbs, and I'm going to give y'all the foods that you need to reverse these so-called diseases. People necessarily believe in the allopathic concept of disease. I do believe that your body go to different states of symptomologies, and that makes your body be diseased because your body is not harmonized, your body is not in a balanced state. You know, and your pH balance is not where it's supposed to be. But the actual allopathic labeling of diseases, I totally disagree with that bullshit whatsoever. So I'm gonna use the word disease because y'all can identify with it. But other than that, I'm gonna break down these acids, and I'm gonna break down how these things are coming and consuming, and you know why you suffering from them. And then I'm gonna give you the actual remedies, and I'm gonna give you the actual, you know, they say you can't say the cure word, but I'm gonna give you what you need to do to actually get rid of these things. So we're gonna really be keying in on cancer. We're going to really be keying in on lupus. We're going to really be keying in on fibromyalgia, and we're going to be keying in on MS, or what they call multiple sclerosis. All right. So if y'all ready, if y'all can hear me good, type in some nines, and we're going to get everything started. Type in some nines, we're going to get everything started. I ain't got nothing going on right now. Do you save this live? I save all my lives. At least I try to. Some of them, they don't let me post them, though. I ain't doing that. I'm just chilling out here. Got the ocean behind me. It's kind of cold out here in the Bay, though. You see, I got a hoodie on. It don't feel so warm. That'd be crazy about the Bay. The Bay be cold, y'all. The Bay Area be cold out here, man. It be cold. It looks all good and stuff, but it's cold as hell. All right, okay, so let's get to it. So let's talk about what acids is. Acids basically is a substance or a byproduct of something, and it is called waste. Anytime you go throughout your life, anytime you go throughout your day, your body is constantly in motion, and this motion creates friction, and this friction creates heat. This heat then, you know, go through some type of process in your body. Usually it's called metabolic processes. Well, these metabolic processes inside of your body leaves a byproduct. These byproducts is what we would call acids. For instance, when you're working out, your muscles is moving, and that friction is heating up your tissues, and then this actually creates something called lactic acid. You see that when you're eating breads and high things that's in carbohydrates, and your body go through its metabolic process as breaking these things down. The byproduct of your body breaking these things down is called carbonic acid. When you're eating meats, which you're not supposed to be eating no animal flesh at all, but when you eat an animal flesh and you're eating these things, and your body is using all that energy and friction to break down them complex proteins, them complex amino acids that's in your duodenum or that's throughout your colon, this then creates something called uric acid. When you're drinking dairy products and eating ice cream and things like that, which you're not supposed to be eating at all, because it's very bad to the body, and it's very, very, very acidic to the body. This then breaks down and go through its metabolic process, and it creates a byproduct called lactic acid. When you do beans, which you're not supposed to be eating beans unless you're sprouting your beans. Always sprout your beans, sprout your garbanzo beans, sprout your chickpeas. But if you're eating them whole, which you're not supposed to be eating them whole, the body goes through its friction, it goes through its metabolic process to break these things down. That heat becomes heated up, and then once the food is The food is breaking down through its metabolic process. Now you're creating something called phytic acid. So whenever you're going throughout your life and you live in your everyday life, just standing inside of the sun and letting the UVs hit you up, sometimes the skin creates sulfuric acid. No matter what you... Peace. Phone keep reading. No matter what you do inside of this life, you're going to create an acidic environment. The problem is we are not healing our acidic environment. We're not opening up our meridian pathways or opening up our kidneys for filtration. So this acid then sits inside of our anatomy and it burns away at our cells, y'all. It burns away at our cells, and then it's already bad enough that you were created with peace. You are already created with acids. And what do I mean like that? You are made with DNA. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. You're made with RNA and small RNA molecules. That is ribonucleic acid. So everything about you is already acidic. The worst thing you can do is add more acid or acid-forming foods or acid metabolic processes to your body. And that's the mishaps that's really going on. And that's the reason why our blood is tainted. And that's the reason why we're dealing with all these extreme acidosis diseases that we're talking about today. Now, let's break this down. When you eat food, the body consists of 150 trillion cells. So when you're eating food and it's going through its metabolic process, the food breaks down inside the duodenum. The food breaks down inside of your stomach, inside of your colon. Then once this food is broken down, the byproduct of these things are picked up by the bloodstream. The bloodstream then takes these goodies, whether it's bad things, whether it's good things, whether it's neutral things, whatever we want to call it. It then take all of these nutrients, all of these acids, and everything that you just ate. It takes the micromolecules of these things and it put it inside the bloodstream, and then the blood acts as your transferring station. It acts as your transport station. It literally takes it and it drop it off to 150 trillion of your cells. So now the blood is feeding each individual cell in your body. Now what happens is the cell begins to eat what the body have already broken down and what the blood have already gave the cells. So say if you eat a banana, once you eat that banana, you break that banana down. You have a lot of potassium monophosphate in bananas. You have a lot of calcium in bananas. You have a lot of manganese and magnesium in a banana. You break that down, the micro part of that banana, it leaves through your colon. It goes out through your anus. That is called that's called micro byproducts, or what you call micro waste. You poop that out. But the little small broken down particles you have little villi inside of your duodenum or your duodenum, and through that you have all this good bacteria that reach their little fingers in and take all of the potassium monophosphate and take all of the manganese, take all the manganese and the magnesium, and it literally goes through the bloodstream. Now what happens is it drops all these trace minerals off to the cells. Now your cells begin to eat them. So now your cells have to go through its own metabolic process, its own friction, heating up to eat the minerals. And then when they eat up these minerals, what happens is there's a byproduct from the cells that come from your cells eating. Well, just like how you can get up and walk to the bathroom to defecate, how you can get up to walk to the bathroom and squat or pee and poop and all these other things, your cells can't do that because your cells don't have legs. So you have 150 trillion cells that are just sitting on a river of two fluids. The first fluids that it's sitting on is the blood. The second fluid that 150 trillion cells are sitting on is called the lymphatic system or the lymphatic fluid. Well, when your cells take a poop, just like you take a poop in the bathroom, you flush the toilet. Your feces and your defecation and your urination goes through something called a sewage system. Well, where is the sewage system when your cells take a poop? Where is the sewage system when your cells take a urination? Because your cells do the same thing like you. You are a miniature universe, and your cells have eyes like you. Your cells have lungs like you, called the Golgi apparatus. The cells have a digestive system like you, called the mitochondria. You see that the cells have a reproductive system like you, we call the ribosome. So the cells have its own organelles and every function that you have. So the only thing the cells don't have that you have is legs. And what the cells does is use this bed or river and two fluids as its legs. So all of these cells sits on a river of blood. All of these cells sits on a river. They keep trying to stop your video. No, there's somebody keep calling me, y'all. The cells sits on a river of fluids, blood and lymph. Now, when your cells eat and it breaks down all this byproducts and it breaks down this acid, the acid sits on top of the cells. Well, what happens is this river of fluid that is flowing through all of the cells, called lymphatic fluid, starts to pick up all of the acids off of the cells. And then what happens is, inside of this lymphatic fluid, inside of all this mucus, inside of all this cholesterol, because it's all the same thing, you have something called phagocytes. Now, when you break down phagocytes, what's inside of phagocytes? You have macrophages, and then you have monocytes. You have T cells and you have B cells. And these things is called a immunological response. So basically, when you eat something, your body have to go through a immunological response in order to get all the bullshit and the byproducts of what you ate out the body. So then what happens is the monocytes, the T cells, the B cells, the phagocytes, the lymphocytes, it picks up all of the acids and all the waste that the cells produce during their metabolic process, because remember, they had to eat things, and then it takes it inside of the lymphatic system and it drop it off to something called lymph nodes. Inside of the lymph nodes, you have a lot of bifidobacterium bacteria, lactobacillus bacteria, and this help eat the acids. Now, where lupus come in at, this is what lupus is. Lupus is when this same process happens, right? But you are so acidic and you are so full of acids that there is not enough T cells, there is not enough B cells, there is not enough phagocytes, there is not enough lymphocytes to eat all the acids. So then the acids begin to leak off into the bloodstream. And when the acid leaks off into the bloodstream, now what happens is the blood go to the spleen and dump it back off into the lymphatic system. So now you have all these different acids and all these different gnarly chemistries, all these different toxics and stuff like that, that's just sitting stagnant inside the lymphatic system because you never cleanse or you never detox or you never stop eating bad. So what happens is the T cells, the B cells, the lymphocytes, the phagocytes, what they do is they start getting confused because now Bloods and Crips are chilling together when they supposed to be at war. So the body don't know what to do. So they start literally killing themselves. They start killing themselves. And that's all that's going on inside the body whenever you dealing with lupus. It's literally when the so-called immunological system starts to eat away at itself. The T cells, the B cells, the phagocytes, the monocytes, the lymphocytes start eating one another. They start eating each other. That's what happened due to extreme acidosis, because your lymphatic system is so stagnant because your kidneys and your adrenals are not functioning properly, and therefore you can't filter all the systemic acidosis and acids that you accumulated by eating all the wrong foods that you've been eating or the good foods that you've been eating. See, this is what they don't want to tell you. Every food causes an acidic environment. It's just different levels of that acids. Every food causes that, because whenever you eat anything, the body has to go through a metabolic process. This metabolic process is friction. This shit takes energy. This shit takes ATP, adenosine triphosphate. This shit takes heat. This heat then turns into a byproduct called acids, whether it's a good one or not. See, and that's what we need to understand, y'all. We don't have no type of knowledge when it comes to true healing because we have been taught wrong by a lot of people. Now, the people we've been taught wrong, their intentions was good. You know what I'm saying? But when you really break these things down scientifically, anything you eat is have to go through a metabolic process, and any metabolic process is a acidic process, y'all. And that's the reason why the cells have to cleanse themselves. That's the reason why your kidneys have to be open. That's the reason why your lymphatic system have to keep moving and have to cleanse out all these byproducts. Another one is MS. The same thing happened with MS, except this time, guess what happens? The so-called immunological system start attacking the nervous system. See that? The so-called immunological system start attacking the nervous system, just like the immunological system attacks itself in fibromyalgia. Now it's starting to attack the nervous system. Then the same thing with rheumatoid arthritis. It started attacking the joints. It started attacking the tissues and the skin. Same, look, but it's still the same acidic disease, and you don't have enough so-called immunological system, which is called the lymphatic defense system. You don't have enough T cells, B cells, phagocytes, monocytes, and lymphocytes to do the job because they killing each other because acids is chilling where they ain't supposed to be, and they getting confused. Literally, that's what it is. Literally. And then you got this big C word that everybody is scared of, called cancer. Called cancer. Well, guess what cancer is? It is the same thing. It is when your body is eating all these things, and then what happens is that waste sits on top of the cells. When it sits on top of the cells, that byproduct and that waste that we've been talking about for the last 15 minutes starts chewing away at the cells. Now, what happens when it starts chewing away at the cells go through something called mitosis. It breaks them in half. So the cell starts dividing. Now they starts dividing uncontrollably because it's systemic acidosis. Then it goes through something called apoptosis because your cells rather die than to suffer. You see that? Your cells rather die than to suffer. Just like Killmonger off of Black Panther. He said, look, just let me die and bury me in the sea. I don't want to be locked up. He said, I'd rather die than to suffer. I'd rather die than to be in a cage. Well, that's your cells already had a mentality. So the moment your cells starts to go through this systemic acidosis, instead of just wasting away and suffering and dying slowly, they take themselves through a phase called apoptosis. Apoptosis is when the cells kill themselves. First, they go through something called uncontrollable mitosis. Uncontrollable mitosis is when the cell starts dividing uncontrollably, and then when they come back, they start something called a mutation process. This is what you call cancer. It's all the same thing. Now, guess what the common denominator is, though? The common denominator is acids. The common denominator is acids. Whether you eating good or whether you eating bad, guess what you dealing with? You dealing with a byproduct called acids. Now, how do you get the acids out of the body? The best way to get these acids out of your body, y'all, is to change your diet and to start taking herbs to open up your meridian pathways, to open up your lymphatic system. See that? And what you're going to need to do this, because half of y'all kidneys are not filtering and half of y'all lymphatic system is so systemic, the first thing you need to do is make sure that you got the right amount of microbiome, to make sure you got the right amount of good bacteria inside your body, because without good bacteria, your lymphatic system ain't gonna work anyway. So you have to bring the microbes back in. Guess where you get the microbes from? Your bitter herbs, your bitter bark. You see that? Your bitter herbs, your bitter bark. That's where you get your microbes from. That's what my 3 bitters do. My 3 bitters replaces all of the good bacteria that you left from your body, from all the antibiotics, from them suffocating to death because you haven't been cleansing your lymphatic system all your life. You need the bacteria to be inside the lymph nodes, because the bacteria inside the lymph nodes is what kills the acids. It's what eats the acids. It was break down your food in your stomach. It's your whole entire metabolic process. That's all bacteria, y'all. So you need good bacteria, and that's what the 3 bitters do for you. My 3 bitters is what gives you the good bacteria. It's what repopulate the germs and the good bacteria in your body, because you need them to help break down the acids. That's the first thing. You have to get the good bacteria, the bifidum bacteria and the lactobacillus bacteria back inside of the lymph nodes. The second thing is you have to turn the kidney filtration system on. The kidney filtration system is ran by electricity. This electricity is called the autonomic nervous system, the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system, which come from what? It comes from the adrenal glands. This is the autonomic nervous system. Notice the prefix there, auto. These are things that run automatically. Guess what runs automatically? Your heart beating. That runs automatically. The 4 chambers of your heart opening up their valves, because they are valves. That is a automatic process. You going through a digestive process, a metabolic process. That is automatic. Your blood pumping through your body by your lungs. That is automatic. Your breathing. That's automatic. You thinking. These things are automatic. Your salivary glands producing amylase, producing trypsin, and all these other different enzymic reactions. That runs automatically. You don't have to think about that. Your pancreas creating 4,000 different types of enzymic reactions to further break down your food, creating chow, creating bile, creating chyme, creating all these different things. That is automatic. You urinating, and your kidneys helping you urinate, whether they filtering or not. Guess what that is? That is automatic. You do not have to sit and consciously be aware of these things happening. That shit is happening right now. Your cells dying and repopulating. That is automatic. All of that is controlled by what? The nervous system. Well, what controls the nervous system? The adrenal glands, because the adrenal glands is over the autonomic nervous system, the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. That's what kicks the kidneys on. Now, if you look at the adrenal glands, they small. They look like they're about the size of walnuts with the shell on it. And they shape like pyramids. Ain't that something? They shape like pyramids, and they sit on top of both kidneys. And the reason why you have two kidneys is because you're a bilateral person. That's why you have a left arm and a right arm, a left hemisphere and a right hemisphere, a left nostril, a right nostril, a left eye, a right eye, a left kidney, a right kidney, a left lung, a right lung, a left adrenal, a right adrenal, a left leg, a right leg. You see that? A left side of the chamber of my heart and a right side of the chamber of my heart. You got a left ear, a right ear. You are literally a bilateral person. Literally, if you get scientifically, you think with two different entities at all times. Literally, y'all. So, and that's why if you check your blood pressure on one side and you check the other side, it'd be different. You check your blood sugar on one arm and you check the other arm, it'd be different. Now, why am I talking about this? Because you have to get both of them kicked back on, because you can have one kidney filtering and the other one won't filter. Now you super fucked because you draining on one side and now you swollen on the other. Now, let's talk about this. How do you get the autonomic nervous system back kicking? You have to feed it carbon, copper, gold, zinc. You have to cleanse it first. Kick all the mucus and all the dust off of it, because that's why you're adrenal fatigue, because they are drowning in fucking mucus. Your adrenal glands is drowning in mucus. Your adrenal glands is drowning from the deprivation of oxygen. When your adrenal glands is the most important glands of your body, other than the pituitary gland and the pineal gland, it's one of the most important glands because it controls the nervous system, and it controls 99% of your steroids, 99% of your cortisol, your corticosteroids, 99% of your hormonal reactions, and your iron utilization. That's what deals with utilization. Ain't no sense of you feeding your body all these irons, feeding your body all these trace minerals, all these coppers, all these zincs, all these golds, and you can't utilize them. That's what the adrenals do. The adrenals utilize them. And guess what else the adrenals do? They actually send neurotransmitters to the kidneys to kick them on. They're like the filtering pump of a fish tank. See that? The filtering pump is what you plug in the wall. Them the adrenal glands. The filtering system is what hangs inside of the fish bowl and clean out all the algae and bullshit that's killing the ecosystem, that's killing the fish. And that's what's happening inside of your ecosystem. That's what's happening inside of your body. You need to kick your filtering system back on, but you can't kick it on because you too adrenal fatigue from eating all this bullshit, and from not cleansing your body, and from being in bad relationships, and from being around low thought form frequencies, and from being around bad vibrations all your life, that your kidneys and your neurological system is not even working sufficiently. So we got to turn them back on. We got to kick them back on. The only way to kick them back on is through a detoxification, y'all. You have to remove the mucus that's on them. You have to remove the corrosive acids that is sitting on top of them. Just like if you running a car all day, every day, and you never cleanse it, and you never give it a wash, and you never give it an engine wash, and you never give it a tune-up, guess what happened to the battery posts? The posts that stick to the battery, they get corroded and they build up with acids. So you got to pour Coca-Cola and Pepsi on that shit to get the acids out for you can get a good connection again. It's the same exact terminology when it comes to your body. You have to cleanse them adrenals off for you can get a strong autonomic nervous system connection again, because by way of melanin neurotransmitters, and by way of the intrinsic nervous system, by way of the cardiac nervous system, by way of the central nervous system, these things actually communicate with each other and send the body messages through melanin neurotransmitters by way of electricity. So look, of course the kidneys ain't gonna get filtered. They're not receiving any fucking messages. They're not receiving any electricity to even kick them and keep them on. So I know y'all question is, okay, Yaki, I hear you talking, you breaking all the scientific database down. Well, how do I cleanse my adrenals? How do I get my kidneys back up and filtering? There's only one way to do it. That's through fasting, and that is through monofruit fasting and herbs. The monofruit fast that is best for the adrenals is berries and grapes, y'all. Berries and grapes. Any berry family except for goji berries. And if you do get goji berries, make sure you take the hulls off of them. So make sure you get high on your berries. In monofruit fasting, I will pick grapes. Seeded grapes, if you can find them, do that for 12 days. While you're doing that, you need herbs. The most potent herb that is for the actual adrenal glands will be licorice root. Now you have to be careful with the licorice root, because that's going to raise your blood pressure. Because whenever you're dealing with blood pressure, you're dealing with systolic and diastolic. Systolic is the top part, and that's your adrenal glands. Diastolic is the bottom part. This is where you get dialysis from, and this directly correlates with with your kidneys. So when if you have high blood pressure already, it's going to kick them adrenals on real fast. It's like feeding them epinephrine pen. That shit wake them up. It's like putting some shockers. You know how somebody die and they get the defibrillators and they put it to your chest. When you take licorice root, that's what happened that's what happened to your adrenal glands. You know what I'm saying? They put the defibrillators on them and wake them up. But sometimes it wake them up too quick and it makes you hyperactive, and then your blood pressure shoots through the roof. So if you got high blood pressure, then you have to use wild yam root. But if you don't have high blood pressure, then use licorice root. Use things like fenugreek. You see that? Licorice root, fenugreek, mullein leaf. These things are good for adrenals. These things is good for the adrenal processes. Guaco leaf, guaco bark. These things help shake and click that adrenal glands back on, and it wakes them up. You see that? It wakes them up. But your main thing is going to be licorice root. Drink you some licorice root tea every day. Drink, if you don't have high blood pressure. If you do, drink you some wild yam root tea every day. If you don't want to do these things yourselves, we have some of the most powerful, when I say some of the most powerful, I mean it, some of the most powerful alkaline herbal ratio formulas in the world. Go to the website and get you the brain, nerve, and adrenal kit. Get our 3 bitters. Our three bitters is going to replace all of the good bacteria. It's going to put all that good bacteria back in your body. It's going to help move the stagnated lymphatic system. It's going to help break up agglomulation. It's going to help get rid of all the acids. Now, since we got the adrenals back on, we got to get the kidneys, because in each kidney you have something called 1 million nephrons, and these nephrons are the filtering chambers that's inside of the kidneys, that's inside of the renal metabolic process. Now, in order to get that up, you're going to need grapes and grapes alone, y'all. Grapes and grapes alone. And then you're going to need some great kidney herbs like parsley. That is a great kidney herb, the leaf of the parsley. Poke root, that is a great kidney herb. Stingy nettle leaf, that is a great kidney herb, y'all. Juniper berries, that is a great kidney herb. Dandelion root, dandelion leaf, that is a great kidney herb. Burdock, that is a great kidney herb. Greater burdock though. Lily of the valley, that is a great kidney herb, and that's a great adrenal herb too, y'all. Forgot to tell y'all about that. Lily of the valley is amazing. Blue verivane, I mean, I love me some blue verivane. That is a great kidney herb. That is a great lymphatic system herb too. A great lymphatic system herb too. Another one, valerian root. That shit stink to high heaven when you cooking it in the house. You know what I'm saying? It'll run you out the crib, but it is very good when it comes to relaxing and opening up the renal pathways of your kidneys, opening up the metabolic pathways, opening up all these different meridians to get your body to start filtrating all this bullshit out of your body. See that? That's what you need. Now, what you don't need that's going to kill you is meat. Get off the meat, y'all. Get off of all byproducts from meat. Get off of milk, y'all. Get off of meat. If it come from an animal, don't put it in your mouth. Do not put it in your mouth. That's what's killing us, because it's too much of a rigorous process of trying to break this shit down. So you spending all your energy on digestion all day, and that builds up so much damn acid. So you literally feeding your cells acids. You did the blood just dumping acids just all through the cells. All through the cells, because there's no nutritive factors that come from milk. There's no nutritive factors that come from meat. There is no nutritive factors that come from animal byproducts. And then you using the animals as a middleman, because the animals you eat grass, eat fruits, eat everything that you supposed to be eating, they eat. So why would I eat a fucking animal to get iron when I can go straight to the plant that they ate to get their iron and eat the plant? That shit don't even make sense whatsoever. It don't. But you know, you religious brews, y'all know everything, I guess. Y'all know everything. I'm the stupid one here. I ain't the one that's been healing sickle cell anemia, HIV, leukemia for damn near 10 years. It ain't been me, huh? I ain't the one out in the fields. I ain't the one in the laboratories. I ain't the one with hundreds and thousands of healing testimonies. I ain't the one with hundreds of interviews. I ain't the one that's building healing houses and all this other stuff. I guess it ain't me. Whatever. But anyways, that's what you're going to need to actually get the kidneys and get the adrenals back up and running and filtering, because you are literally dying from your own acidic waste. It's your own acidic waste that's killing you. It's your own acidic waste that gave you cancer. It's your own acidic acid waste that gave you lupus. It's your own acidic acid waste that gave you fibromyalgia. It's your own acidic acid waste that gave you multiple sclerosis or MS. Remember, lupus is when the lymphatic defense system attack itself. Fibromyalgia is when the lymphatic system attacks the tissues. Literally, it start attacking the tissues. MS is when the lymphatic system start attacking the nervous system. And cancer is when the lymphatic system started, the acids that's supposed to be in the lymphatic system starts killing and eating away at the cells. These are all the same they are all the same disease, basically. They just name them different shit. That's why I don't believe in the concept of disease. It's all bullshit. That's why I don't believe in it. You're dying of your own acidic waste. You are suffocating and dying of your own acidic waste. You are suffocating and dying of your own mucosa membrane response. You are dying of the things that you're putting in your body. You are dying of your body trying to heal itself. We just gonna expedite the process of getting all that mucus and all that acid and all that bullshit out of your body. And that's replacing the good bacteria, putting that good bacteria in the gut, putting that good bacteria within the bloodstream, putting that good bacteria within the lymphatic system, putting that good bacteria inside of the lymph nodes, putting that good bacteria inside of the sigmoid colon, the transverse colon, the ascending colon, the descending colon, the rectum, because that's where it needs to be, because bacteria is the shit. It breaks down things. And guess what? Your body don't breaks down acids. Acid breaks down the body. But guess what breaks down acid though? Good bacteria. Oh, that's what the 3 bitters do. That's why the 3 bitters is the #1 sellers in changing people's lives and healing all type of diseases by itself alone. Because it's full of everything I just mentioned. It kicks on the lymphatic system. It kicks on the adrenal glands. It opens up the kidney filtration, and it's full of bacteria. We ain't playing no games out here. We ain't out here acting like we ain't out here fake healing. This is real shit. This is real things happening here. So that's what's happening, y'all, and that's the breakdown. I know I was getting a lot of phone calls in the beginning, so I'm going to break it down one more time, and then after that, I'm going to answer some questions. So basically what happens is the body is made of 150 trillion cells. 150 trillion cells sits on 2 beds of rivers. These 2 beds of rivers is called blood and lymph. The blood is what feeds the cells, y'all. The lymphatic system is what cleanses the cells, and then the nerve endings that's in each side of the cellular tissues actually send messages to the cells. You eat something. Once you eat something, the digestive process begins inside of your mouth. The first digestive process is your teeth. You begin to break and grind and mold your teeth. Then while you're doing this, it activates your salivary glands. Your salivary glands produces something called amylase. That is an alkaline enzyme that helps breaks down your food. Then you have something called trypsin. This is another alkaline enzyme that help break down your food. Then your food starts to go down your esophagus. While it's going down your esophagus, you have millions of mucus glands that start secreting mucus to help further break down the food and get it prepared to go inside the stomach. Once the food passes the cardiac sphincter and goes into the stomach, what happens then is the stomach cardiac sphincter door and the pyloric sphincter door closes up, and then it sits inside of a timer. Yes, your stomach is a time capsule. It goes through a process. It literally goes through a process that's stimulated by the sun. It's called the circadian rhythm, where it bakes and cooks your food like a fucking oven, y'all. I'm not lying. So now what happens is this mucus actually turns something called pepsinogen into hydrochloric acid. This hydrochloric acid then starts breaking down your food. Once your food is broken down into the to the microbes that it needs to be broken down into all the trace minerals, it is then released. Something called the pyloric sphincter door opens at the bottom end of your stomach. Then the food travels to something called the duodenum. Well, inside the duodenum, there's not only more processes to break the food down, but you have billions of good bacteria that's in there that's helping bring the food and take it into the blood capillaries. Once the food go into the blood capillaries, now all of these trace minerals and these amino acids and everything you need is inside of the transportation system, or what we're going to call the subway. Now, the subway has something called iron phosphate inside of it. This will be the subway. All right, the bloodstream will be the train station. That will be your actual train tracks, but the subway is iron phosphate. Well, guess what's attached to iron phosphate? Iron phosphate is attached to oxygen molecules. Not only that, iron
phosphate is the only electrical magnetic mineral that's in your body. Now, all the other trace minerals and all the other amino acids and things that the blood need, it attracts to iron phosphate. Now, what happens is you have your passengers or your workers or your worker bees, which is I call the bacteria. They give it to the iron phosphate. The iron phosphate put them inside of the train system called the blood, and then the blood brings them to each individual store or factory. These factories and stores is 150 trillion cells. Now, you drop them off to the cells. Now, guess what? The cells got to eat, because remember, the cell is nothing but a miniature you. The cell have a mouth. The cell have lungs. The cell have a respiratory system. The cell have a digestive system. The only thing the cells don't have that you have is arms and legs. Well, it do kind of have arms, and they call it melanated receptors or carbon receptors, but it don't have legs, so it can't go to the bathroom. So 150 trillion cells are in your body eating the same thing you just ate, just in a micro stage. So guess what? You want to go shit out the macro. Now the cells have to take a shit. So since the cells don't have legs to go to the bathroom, the cell shits on top of itself. Oh, that makes sense. So now, since the cell shitted on top of itself, remember, 150 trillion cells is floating on 2 beds of rivers. So what happens is the lymphocyte fluid picks up the shit off the cell, which it's supposed to do, but in your case it's not, because your lymphatic system is already stagnated and backed up because your kidneys are shut down and your adrenal glands are not working properly. So what happens? The acid sits on top of the cells and it starts chewing and gnarling away from your cells. It starts sucking and heating all the oxygen from your cells. So then the mucosal response comes, because you know mucus is a defense, not a killer. Mucus is a defense. So then mucus rush in to do its mighty good job, right? Then when mucus actually rush in to do its mighty good job, mucus have nowhere to fucking go because your lymphatic system once again is stagnated. So you got acids burning your cell, then you have mucus sitting on top of acids. Now calcium matrix that's going to come from the bone matrix and it's going to be tripped by tritryptophan, and parathyroid is going to come from the thyroid. Now you got acid, fucking mucus, and you have calcium, which calcify things, all sitting on a river of acid waste on top of your cells. This shit literally starts to crystallize all of the acids inside of the body, which makes the cells die. Now, what happens? Remember, the mucosal response came. What's inside the mucosal response? You have lymphocytes, you have phagocytes, you have monocytes, you have T cells, you have B cells, you have all of these antibodies and all these immunological responses. And guess what they do? They trying to kill the acids, so then acids start hiding away in the bloodstream. All these other things start hiding because it's so much is building up. Now it's in the blood and it's in the lymphatic system. Now when another response go out, like damn, they're overwhelmingly in our neighborhood, y'all. So guess what the Bloods and the Crips start doing? They start killing themselves. They start killing themselves. There ain't even a war between them no more. Crips start killing Crips. That's T cells start killing T cells. Well, we're gonna call the B cells Bloods. B cells starts killing B cells. You see that? You see that? T cells start killing T cells. Macrophages start killing macrophages. So then they be like, oh my God, this is an autoimmune disease. Your autoimmune system is killing itself. Becky, your autoimmune system is killing itself. Sarah, John, huh? Mark, your autoimmune, you have lupus. You see that? That's how quick that just turned into a whole fucking disease when it's not a disease at all. It's a lot of acids going on. That's how quick that the allopathic community, oh, you have lupus. Huh? Or if the mucus and the acids don't leave and the cells start to uncontrolled, start to divide and go through something called mitosis, they say, oh my God, you have cancer. Or if tumors form from it because the body is trying to isolate the chemistry and don't want it to dump inside of the blood, you have tumors. You have benign tumors. You have acute tumors. You have chronic tumors. Oh my God, it's aggressive. You have triple negative breast cancer. Nigga, no, I don't. You motherfuckers don't know what y'all talking about. Then if the waste get inside the tissues, oh, you have fibromyalgia. You have fibromyalgia. Let me get you some autoimmune experiment drugs that I won't even take my fucking self and I will never put in the mouths of my children. But I'm going to give it to you, though, because the insurance is going to charge you. You see that? Then if it start attacking the nervous system, you have multiple sclerosis, Becky. These motherfuckers don't know what they talking about, y'all. These are the most lost people on planet Earth. These are the most lost people on planet Earth, y'all. I would not trust them with my damn toenail, let alone my life. I wouldn't trust them with a damn toenail. They don't know what the hell they talking about. And these are your so-called manifestation of disease. But look, the common denominator is acids. It's acids the whole time, family. Your body is acidic. You are in a state of hell. You're in a state of the lake of fire. You are literally burning alive. You're burning alive. And I just showed y'all how to open up your kidneys and how to cut back on your adrenal glands, hooking them up to the natural defibrillators, or what we're going to call herbs, alkaline herbs that comes from alkaline alchemy. That's where you get alchemy from. Alkaline me, alchemy, alkaline your body. You see that? And now all these things stop happening because not only you're not feeding your body acids no more. Now you're feeding your body, even though it breaks down into certain acids. These are acids that's not bad for you that come from milk and stuff. I mean, don't come from milk. I'm tripping. That comes from like fruits and stuff like that. These are simple amino acid structures that you're eating. So it's simple acids when you're eating simple amino acid structures. These are simple sugars. They call it monosaccharides or disaccharides. Once you start getting to maltose, dextrose, polysaccharides, and sucrose, them bad sugars. You don't need that. That come from processed sugars. You know what I'm saying? You need simple sugars. You need simple acids because the body will not survive without acids, because acids is what makes up DNA. So the whole acid and alkaline shit is bullshit, to be honest with you. But hey, you know, y'all don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? But when you really start breaking these things down, man, and you start healing, you start really seeing what's going on. But that exactly what it is. So look, make sure y'all get y'all licorice root. Make sure you get all the herbs that I mentioned. Get them kidneys back up and filtering. Get them adrenal glands back up, because that is the pump to the kidneys. Open up the meridian pathways. Get out in that sun. Get out in nature. You know, elevate, levitate, meditate, all of that. You know what I'm saying? And get your body back right, family. You know what I'm saying? We are the original organic family and people of this earth. We have one mandate and one mandate and mission only, and that is to re-civilize earth and to make sure that earth is not being abused. Make sure that our people are not being abused. We are here to civilize these damn heathens, y'all. You can't do that if you acting like a damn heathen yourself. You can't do that if you sick and you full of acids yourself. You can't do it. It's impossible. That's crazy. We got 144 on here, huh? It's a very, very good number. Very good number. You know I'm into numbers, y'all. So with that being said, if y'all got any questions whatsoever, y'all can ask them real quick. I'm going to answer 5 questions. Make sure y'all go on the website. Y'all order the 3 bitters. Make sure y'all go on there, check out all the herbs. You can order, most definitely get on the adrenal kit, the kidney and adrenal kit that will open the kidneys up. It's on there for $300. Kidney adrenal kit, it comes for everything you need to actually open up your metabolic processes and get your kidneys to filter. Make sure you do that on an all-fruit diet. It does not come with the 3 bitters, so buy the 3 bitters also, and that's what you need, family. That's what you need. All right. It says, what do you think about grounding in earthen products? I actually wear grounding and earthen products all the time. Mama Lily, how you doing? Peace queen, peace goddess. I wear them all the time. I wear grounding moccasins around all the time. They're very, very good for you, but don't get so used to those. Get used to having your bare feet out there in the grass. But if you like going to the store and you want to ground out while you walking through grass and stuff, make sure get you some moccasins. What I do, y'all, is I will post the link to custom made grounded moccasins in this chat. I will post it. I got to find it, and I'll post it in here, and I'm actually going to be selling them on my website too. So they're custom-made moccasins, and they didn't have to kill an animal to make them, so they're very, very good for you, and that's most definitely a connect to your electrical magnetic field, and you can ground out all that negative energy and give it back to Mama Earth, because she's the nurturer. You see that? How long should you be on a diet and drinking the herbs? At least, I mean, we are chronically fucked up, y'all, so I say at least 30 to 60 days. 30 to 60 days. 30 to 60 days. What to do to get rid of HIV and AIDS? That's a long process. I ain't finna talk about that. That's a very long process, brother. But I got videos talking about HIV and AIDS all on my YouTube channel on the Yaki Awaken, and he can book a consultation and we can get that out of his body within 3 to 9 months, for real. There's been a few people that it took like a year, but for the most part, you know, 3 to 9 months. The one we healed very quick was the dude that was in Smyrna, Georgia, and we ended up healing him of HIV, and his ass went out and celebrated and actually caught herpes, y'all. Got healed of HIV of 10 years, and he went out and celebrated. I don't know if he bought him a hooker or what. I don't know what he did, but he ended up catching herpes after we got the HIV antibodies out of his body, and he was testing negative and everything. He went out and celebrated and caught herpes. Healed him of that too, though. You know what I'm saying? What else we got?
What causes our women to lose their edges in their hair in general? If you go to a leukemia ward, y'all, and you look at a hospital, 2-year-olds inside of the leukemia ward, what you see, all of them lost their hair. All of them are bald headed. Why are they bald headed? Because of the chemotherapy treatment. When you look up the ingredients to chemotherapy, it's mustard acid gas. It is 100% mustard acid gas. Notice the common denominator there, acids. Acids is the reason why we're losing our hair. You got too much acid and mucus built up inside of your cranium. You have to drain the brain. The only way to drain the brain is by way of the cavities that's inside of your head that sit behind both of your eyes. And the only way to get that down is by cleansing out your transverse colon. So you will have to cleanse the transverse colon and actually drain the cavities to get, or what you call the glymphatic system, to get all of that cystatic mucus and acids out of your head. And then once you get that mucus out of your head, your hair will grow beautifully. Your hair will grow beautifully, y'all. It will. My blood pressure is always high. It is always 250 over 112. Yes, Queen, that is your adrenals. The top part, that 250, is your adrenals. That's supposed to be at 117 to 120. Your bottom part, which is your kidneys, that is too high too. That's hypertension. That's supposed to be at least a 70, at the highest a 80. So you have adrenal and kidney problems. That means you have a lot of acid built up and you are very, very dehydrated, Queen. Goddess, you need to hydrate your body. What happens is when the body becomes dehydrated from all the acids that you putting in it, it starts to dehydrate the arteries and dehydrate the blood vessels. When it constrict the blood vessels, that blood still have to pump, because if the blood stop pumping, you die. So that blood start pushing against them constricted artery walls, and that's what shoots the blood pressure up. But you got to remember, the top part is systolic, that is the adrenals. The bottom part is diastolic, that is the kidneys. High blood pressure is directly connected to too much pressure being built up in your kidneys and your adrenals, because you have acid and mucus that's sitting inside of your kidneys and your adrenals, because your kidneys is not filtering out the acids and the metabolic waste properly. You need to go on an all fruit diet, and you need to get my blood builder Iron Nourisher kit off of my website. You need to go on an all fruit diet. You need to get my blood builder and Iron Nourisher kit off my website. How do you get rid of yeast infections or bacteria vaginosis? I talked about that in my last video, but I'll talk about it here. In order to get rid of bacteria vaginosis, the bacteria is there for a reason. The bacteria is not a bad thing. What you don't let them do to yourself, Queen, don't let them give you no antibiotics, Goddess, because the antibiotics is going to kill the bacteria, and then you're going to have acidosis problem. And now instead of dealing with itching, you're going to be dealing with burning, because you don't got nothing to eat them damn acids up. And you don't want that vagina burning. That's an irritating ass problem to have. So what you need to do is you need to get my 3 bitters, and you need to, well, it comes with it. You need my amino acid week 1 and I can't call it that no more. We call it geogenetics. You need my geogenetics therapeutic protocol week 1 and 2, which comes with the 3 bitters. You need to actually douche with bitter 1, drink bitter 2, and drink bitter 3, but douche with bitter 1. That's going to start getting a lot of good bacteria and probiotics up in there to help out the bacteria that's already in there, to kill out all of them acids. As far as the yeast is coming from fermented foods. That means your digestive system is not breaking down things properly, and this yeast is starting to get inside the bloodstream. And the first thing that these deposits gonna come to, because you come on a cycle each month, or you supposed to, and if you're going through like menopause, you still spiritually come on your cycle. All that yeast and stuff is then funneled down to your lower extremities, and usually you get rid of that through discharges and stuff like that. So you have to watch the food you're eating. Make sure you're not eating anything that have yeast and leaven in it. Make sure you're not eating breads. Make sure you're not eating carbohydrates. Make sure you cleansing out your digestive system. That way when you do eat fruits, it don't break down and then turn into fungus, and then this fungus turn into alcohol, then this alcohol turn into mold, and then this mold breeds all types of yeast get in your phone. Then you got toenail fungus, you got yeast, athlete's foot, you got yeast infections, vaginosis, bacteria vaginosis. All these things are byproduct of acids though, all of them. So it's from the body being too acidic, because the body is already made acidic, y'all. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Now, the blood is alkaline. The blood is designed alkaline, and the blood will never lose its alkalinity. The moment that the blood loses alkalinity, you die of acidosis, or you die of alkalosis. So, but everything else in the blood, y'all, don't let these people fool y'all. Everything else in the blood, everything else in the body is acidic. That's why it behooves us to eat alkaline, because everything else is acidic, and all the byproducts that you do through your everyday living is acidic. Only thing that's alkaline in your body is a few fluids. That is your that's your trypsin, that is your amylase, that is certain enzymes that's produced by your pancreas. That's only certain of them out of 4,000 is probably what? 300 that produces an alkaline breaking down digestive enzyme. And then your blood. Everything else is acidic. Even your damn DNA that makes you up. Even the proteins that makes up your skin, your hair. It's called amino what? Acids. It's called amino acids. Learn this the last word. Acids. Your DNA. Deoxyribonucleic what? Acids.
The replica of your DNA is called what? Ribonucleic acids. Even the ribosome deals with acid when it's birthing a new baby. See that testosterone and zinc, which mix together and make sperm. Guess what? That's acidic as fuck, y'all. Testosterone is on the acidic side of chemistry. That's not a feminine side of chemistry. Estrogen is acidic. You see that? Testosterone is acidic. We have to learn balance. That's why balance is important. You know what I'm saying? All of y'all going around and just, y'all don't know what y'all talking about. And I'm not making fun of y'all, but y'all don't. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Straight up. So that's what you need to do with that, Queen. So yeah, you need to most definitely get my geogenetic therapeutic protocol week 1 and 2 is all one package. It's going to come with the 3 bitters. With the 3 bitters, take bitter 1 and you want to dush with that. Make sure you dushing. With bitter 2 and 3, you want to be drinking those down and take all of them herbs and them tinctures. You will get rid of the whole problem. But make sure that you're on an all fruit diet. But on this all fruit diet, I want you on a lot of water because you already have a digestive problem, which is the reason why you got these things in the first place. And I don't want that food to start fermenting and then add to the yeast infection anyway. So make sure you drink a lot of water too. I say drink more H2O than H3O2 in this particular type of case because we don't want all of them fruits to ferment and add to the yeast. And you know what I'm saying? Because when you add to that yeast, it's going to be more bacteria produced because the bacteria are going to want to go and break down the yeast. So then they're going to say you have bacteria vaginosis. No, the fuck you don't. Your bacteria is there to eat the yeast. Just like your bacteria is in your body to eat the acids. Just like the bacteria is in your body to help you break down your food. Just like the bacteria is in your body to help you construct your DNA. It's like the bacteria makes up 100 trillion of your cells out of 150 trillion of your cells. The bacteria is not the problem. The bacteria is the byproduct. The bacteria is just your Lord and saving grace. That's what the bacteria is. They just go to war with anything that's fucking natural. Anything that's natural, the Iceman and the cave beast want to go to war with. They want to go to war with the sun. So now you got Bill Gates' ass want to blot out the sun. They want to go to war with bacteria. They want to go to war with trees, cutting down all these fucking trees, putting up concrete jungles and shit. They go to war with anything natural. So if it's something natural and they tell you it's bad, do not believe them motherfuckers. They lying. They're lying. And they don't know. They don't know. So they don't know. I really do appreciate your guidance. It's all good, goddess. It's all good. It's all good. I agree. I'm from South Carolina. They're so lost. Yes, they is, Queen. Yes, they is. Why wouldn't I take sea moss? It depends on the sea moss. The only sea moss that we really do recommend is purple sea moss. We don't recommend a lot of gold sea moss because it got a lot of arginine in it. So we don't want to give the gold sea moss to our herpes patients because what we have seen through our studies and just observation that we start seeing a lot of breakouts come from it because all the arginine that's in them. Sea moss is very, very good, y'all. I love sea moss. I even love gold sea moss, but purple sea moss is more alkaline and it does more of a cleansing. Gold sea moss is more of builders, and that's the reason why I have all the arginine and stuff in it because arginine is a building amino acid. It helps build the body. You see that? So it's a good thing, but it's just good. It's bad for you if you got herpes because the arginine is going to express all types of canker sores and outbreaks. See, purple sea moss don't have a lot of arginine. Purple sea moss have more L-lysine inside of it than arginine, so it kind of cancel out the arginine. And we have to stay away from that in estrogen because estrogen and arginines are cellular proliferators, meaning they grow shit. Like without estrogen and without arginine, it's impossible for a woman to grow, especially the chocolate woman, to grow her curves, to grow her butt, her breast, just that beautiful body that y'all usually accumulate. That's through arginine and that's through and that's through estrogen, good estrogen. You know what I'm saying? And progesterone. Well, these same things sits inside, not all of them, but most definitely the arginine sit inside of your golden sea moss. So when you take that golden sea moss, when you have stuff like psoriasis and you have anything that deals with 116 of these strands of herpes dermatitis, or you dealing with Hepalonian virus and warts and stuff like that, and even most tumors, because tumors are grown by arginine and estrogen. You don't want to really recommend golden sea moss. Am I saying that golden sea moss is going to kill them and make it worse? Some cases we seen it, a lot of cases we haven't seen it, but I have seen it though, so I'm not gonna recommend it to my people when they going through stuff like that. If you bodybuilding and shit like that, gold sea moss all day. Other than that, you got herpes and tumors and things that grows that you trying to get rid of because it's messing with circulation and stuff like that. Purple sea moss all day long. So I recommend. I sell purple sea moss. I probably only sell literally like 5 to 10 pounds of gold sea moss a month, but we sell hundreds of pounds of purple sea moss every month, y'all. Hundreds of pounds. So I'm a purple sea moss type of guy, and it's for its biochemical makeup. Not because it's a preference or nothing like that. It's just biochemical makeup. It is better for the people. All right? I'm going to answer one more. How do you feel about coconut milk? Peace, God, man. I love coconut milk. I love coconut water. I love coconut milk. I love I love Brazilian nut milk. I love that. I love walnut milk. I love milk that come from plants. One thing I'm not fucking with though is soy milk and any milk that come from an animal. You know what I'm saying? And other than a mother's tit, that is very very good milk. You know what I'm saying? Between the ages of 1 and 3, that's very good milk. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to galactose and stuff like that, milk that is produced by the black woman's milk buds, or those that's produced by the tit of a plant, them are very good milks, y'all. Very good milks. I drink that all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Terry, that walnut milk ain't no joke, boy. Walnut milk ain't no joke. Add you a couple of date syrups in there. Make your own dates. Put some syrup in there. Sweeten it up a little taste. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Real fire, real fire. You can make you some ice cream out of that deal, too. Mix it up with some bananas. Look, with that being said, y'all, I got to get up out of here. I got things to do today. I love y'all. If y'all got everything that I was talking about today, please type in some 9s. Please type in some 9s. I'll answer one more. What about body cramps? Usually your body cramps due to dehydration or you're on your menstrual cycle. We usually use blue cohosh for that. Not black cohosh, but blue cohosh and red raspberry tea. Them are very, very good for cramps. Chamomile. Very good for cramps. Very good for cramps. And make sure you drinking this warm tea to just soothe the body, aid the body, hydrate the body. All right, okay, all praises, hallelujah, Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Blessed be the heavenly and universal creator. Peace to the gods, peace to the earth, peace, love, light, and healing family. I love y'all. Shalom, shalom.